What if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everybody. I am Sherry Elise. I am a five-time published author and host of the TV show Good Morning Joy. And I am here in partnership with Brave Healer Publishing to introduce you to some of the amazing authors in one of their newest books called When People Rise, HR Secrets for Small Business Growth, Strategy, and Legacy. And before I introduce you to these amazing women, I first want to give a shout out and give immense gratitude to their lead author, Susan S. Mahaffee. Thank you so much for putting this book out in the world all about people, because obviously we are made up of people. So it's really important right now for so many of us to have this connection and this tool. So I'm going to dive in and let you know a little bit about our authors today. Katie Tanner is the president of KTHR Innovations, where she consults with small businesses to help build people first operations and focus on restoring the human in HR. Maura Snigoski is the founder and CEO of Snigoski Life Group, which is dedicated to empowering clients and building a network of female leaders in the industry. Welcome, ladies. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
My first and most important question is, Maura, did I get that correct, your last name?
You did. Solid job. And you did it twice. I'm very,
Twice.
very,
I
very
didn't even
proud.
realize. I was like, she's throwing me right under the bus right here. But if I didn't get it right the first time, definitely I had a second shot on that. So I just wanted to thank you both so much for, writing your chapters, and I did read them both. And so I'm excited to have this conversation today. I'll start with you since I already put you right here, Maura. Can you share with us the name of your chapter as well as what title? And then talk to me about the why behind why you wrote this.
Sure. So I am the author of Chapter 21, Stop Stealing from Your Legacy and How One Decision Today Secures Generations Tomorrow. The biggest reason I wrote it was because I had personal experience with not knowing that time is such a factor when it comes to protecting your future in the form of life insurance, not as just a business owner, but as a mom. So once I got a decline on one of my kids' policies, it just put everything into focus for me. And I want people to understand that timing is of the essence. And that's what I'm here to help people do.
Yeah, I read that and I was immediately, so my father recently passed,
I'm
and
so sorry.
thank you. He had life insurance. And what was interesting though is that, a lot of his life I found we talked about, like, not having money or not enough to do this and that. And so when we
Mhm.
found out he had that, and I read your chapter, and I just thought, because I had never really put it in that perspective about having a legacy, leaving it in that way. And it was such a powerful way to think about, well, look at what your father has now left for you, bigger than when you think, oh, it's money or whatever that
Mm,
is. It's he has left a part of himself to move on, to live on. Can you
yeah,
talk a little bit about that legacy piece? Because I don't think a lot of us think about it like that.
sure. I mean, we want to leave legacies behind in storytelling and experience. But one of the things that most people don't think about is in that dark day, right? When we lose someone, there's so much business that's involved, whether you're a business owner or just family members, that the business of death is hard. And if you can help them before you pass to set them up to not have to have an additional burden, that legacy gets to stay kind of untouched and untarnished by adding in financial distress and overwhelm in a really hard time. And making sure that you're able to have what you want to have passed on instead of having it be what had to become something in the midst of all of that chaos.
Yeah, and you really put it in perspective for me also, just about from a business perspective, because we
Mhm.
often just think about it from personal. So your chapter was really eye-opening in a lot of ways. Can you give us a little hint or insight into about your tool? Because you obviously shared the personal story about your own
Mhm.
family, and really what sounded like lit a fire under you for a mission, and purpose in your life. Can you share a little bit about the tool? Because the beautiful thing about this book, in case you have never read a Brave Healer book, is that the authors show up here and they are vulnerable and they share moments, snippets from their lives, but you also get these amazing tools at the end of the book. So you don't just walk away inspired, you walk away with practical tips. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So can you share
No, it's
some,
great.
yeah, some insight into your tool?
Sure. So I created the legacy framework based on all of the conversations that I've had over the years of being a life insurance broker and figuring out what are those pieces that everyone needs to consider when figuring out how much they need. And it's just a very simple way of saying your day to day business runs, you need to keep it running, and then the bigger picture. And it kind of just puts it all together, and it's not quite a formula in terms of an Excel spreadsheet,
Mhm.
but it gives you the data you need to kind of bring it down and get to a round number that will be able to help those that are left behind with succession planning and just keeping your business moving if you're not here anymore without making it overwhelming, and allows you to just do it in a very clean, system driven way.
Awesome. Thank you, Maura. Katie, what about, well, first, welcome. Can you
Thank
share with us the
you.
name of your chapter and title and talk to us about your why behind yours?
Yeah, so I have a chapter 16. Mine is People Over Processes, Why Caring for Your Employees Fuels Business Success. So I have been within the HR world for about a dozen or so years. And one of the number one things that have seen as a HR professional is that people will start caring more about their business than their actual people. And once you start kind of flipping that, and you start taking care of your people, then your business just starts thriving. And so I just like talking about how the people who are helping you run your business are your number one asset. And so if you start focusing on them, then everything else just kind of falls into place. So
I loved because I think we all hear that, take care of your people, like we all know that, but what you shared in your chapter was just such a it was such a small thing, like a simple thing. You talk about the
yeah,
microwave and the
yeah, a
drastic changes,
$40
like when
choice.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have worked in lots of different industries. One of the longest runs that I had was within the skilled nursing world and the nursing home world, and I was within this world in the middle of COVID, where it was horrible, and some of our people slept at the nursing homes because they couldn't go home, and just I mean it was a terrible time for everybody, but for healthcare workers it was awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talk about a $40 microwave choice and how one of our leaders chose to not purchase a $40 microwave in order to keep all of his people happy. And so many negative things happened over that $40 choice. So
Yeah, it was so interesting to see all of the success that came out of making that choice because it helped those people feel appreciated.
yeah,
That's something like, and I remember, I've been in lots of different fields, but I started in, well, I think every industry is a people industry, period, like, because that's who you're dealing with. But just really remembering working in the restaurant industry and the service industry in that way, and just management. We had this one manager that she just treated everybody with so much respect and did small little things that what that did for people was make them want to show up and take care of the restaurant and be better cleaners, just do all the things because of the little extra that she gave. And it just
right.
reminded me of how much people will do for other people when they feel, talk about your tool for a moment, which is
Yeah.
why I'm leading with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So For my tool, I specifically talk about three things that every person needs when they are at work. They want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to feel appreciated. And if you focus on those three things, then people will want to come to work instead of having to come to work.
100% makes a difference in all areas of our life, personal life, work life. I think that's the one thing that people don't realize is that it's what we all individually want. And if we can
Sure.
give that to somebody else, we're all receiving that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with you on this one since I got you here. So you work in specifically the HR world.
You.
What would you say as far as working with people? What is the greatest lesson or insight that you've learned about people in working all these years with them?
Yeah, I would say the number one thing is things that I specifically talk about. So people want to be seen, and it could be something as simple as just getting out of your leadership office and just walking around and saying hi. There's a lot of times where leadership is behind closed doors because they're very busy and they're making things happen. But if you take even just like 15 minutes every single day and you just walk out of your office and you walk around and you say hi and you learn things about all of these wonderful people, they will feel like you actually care. And that it just makes such a huge difference if you just put in a little bit of that extra effort.
Yeah, and that goes right along with your tool being seen. Like people
Mhm.
feel seen. I remember again being in restaurant management and walking around to all the kitchen staff, to every single person and saying hi to them.
Right.
And I love that you just share that because I think that's such an undervalued thing that people don't realize that that's all people are seeking. So thank you for that. I'm going to ask you the same question, Maura. Has there been a great lesson or insight that working with people all these years that you've learned?
I think the greatest one is that nobody wants to talk about things that are uncomfortable. And the biggest lesson I've learned is to be able to lean into that with them and kind of meet them on the very human level of nobody wants to talk about the things that aren't fun and aren't comfortable. But they're usually the most important conversations that you can have to prepare yourself. But meeting someone where they are and seeing them, which I love that that's Katie's focus, right? Because you want to be able to help them with what they really need instead of just making it about another transaction. I think that's seeing the people on the other side of the table for me was the most important thing, no matter what you do in what industry you're in. That's the most important.
Mm, seeing a human there. And yeah, and knowing that we're all going through something, we've all got something. None of us show up perfectly each day. And just, I love that you say that, like just meeting them where they are. Cause you're right. Like, especially with the conversations you have to have, like, I am certain that what often comes is the immediate, like, it's not time. I don't need that.
Mhm.
I don't have. So there's that pushback immediately. So that's something that you have to be able to be there and hold space with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What people reading this book, what's the most important thing that you want them to know about, their legacy?
That they don't have to build it alone. And it's as big and beautiful as they want it to be. So they don't have to walk that path alone. A lot of business owners start their business by themselves and they don't have to keep it going that way. And their legacy can be something that is absolutely beyond their wildest dreams. And we're all here, all of the authors are here to help them figure out how to do that.
Can you redefine for us because I think we all have that traditional idea of what a legacy is. Can you just say that again for us in your mind?
I think to me, I picture like a painting that you leave behind, and every decision that you make and things that you do and the people you touch are different brushstrokes. And you get to carry different paintbrushes as you build your legacy, and just, again, make it as beautiful and as big and bold as you want. And it doesn't have to always just be data and spreadsheets.
I love that. I don't know if anyone wants to, well, some may want to look at a big thing of data and spreadsheets, but I like the canvas with the beautiful paint strokes.
Me too.
Thank you for that. Katie, can you talk to me? What is the most important thing that you want people to know again about? Well, let's talk about your title, like why caring for your employees, how it fuels the business success. What is the most important thing you want them to know about that?
Yeah, so just like our title of the actual book, um, we are stronger together than you are separate, right? And so I saw this quote recently that said something like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I don't know who actually said it, so you'll have to look that up. But but we will. Everyone's stronger when you have someone else helping you out, and
Mhm.
so if you look towards those wonderful people who work with you and who work for you, everything's going to be stronger if you are one kind of like cohesive unit. And so learning about your people, knowing where their strengths are, and then using that to actually help your business grow, then everybody wins. And there's nothing wrong with letting everybody win.
Hmm. I love that. I talked about that recently with some of your other authors and this idea of putting a spotlight on people and it not being the competitive and being inspired by and lifting each other up. And actually, interestingly, Katie, one of your other co-authors used that same quote.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so you're just all in unison. You're all on the same boat together, helping each other. So I love
Perfect.
that. Yes. What about for you, Maura? Uh, what would you say? Well, I already asked you that question. So I'll just say, is there any last things that you want to leave with anybody today or your hope when people pick up this book and read it?
Um, my hope is that they see it as a tool, but also as a way of having that connection. The fact that Katie used a quote that another author used, I think that speaks so much to the fact that every author in this book has the same mission in mind, is to support and be useful and have collaboration among each other, but then also among other business owners. So I hope they can feel that support and that sense of community when they read the book, no matter what chapter and what area they're in, because we're all alone together in this industry of being entrepreneurs. So that's my biggest hope.
Beautiful. It's so interesting. I've done a lot of these interviews for the different books, but I could feel all of your cohesion together and all like you could physically like feel the energy of that. So I love that. Katie, are there any final words that you want to leave with everybody or your hope for people reading this book?
Yeah, so I would add, so I love working with people who are smarter than I am,
Hmm.
right? Because that helps me grow, that helps me learn. And so as you read this book, now you have like 20 plus additional allies where you can reach out. We can help you with all of your business
Mhm.
needs, but we can all be kind of smarter people in the room for you, because we can help everybody grow and we can help everybody learn. And then again, if everybody's growing, everybody looks, better. Everyone can just kind of lean on each other's knowledge, and that's kind of the whole point of this whole book.
Incredible. And I think that's the great thing about, again, Brave Healer books is that you get this whole symphony of, just different insight and wisdom and you get to pick up any chapter and read what it is that you need for that day. And you two have so brilliantly contributed to this book. And I'm so excited that and honored that I got to read your chapters and to be a part of this moment with you. And I'm so excited for the success of this book. So thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here to share it with everyone. And to our listeners, this is, as all of these books, way more than a book. They are a generous community who is there for you to answer questions, to carry on conversations, and to support you on your journey. So if something resonated with you that we talked about today, go down to the show notes. I put all of the authors' links. Be sure to explore, and I'm certain that they are happy to connect and share what they have going on. And then, of course, we hope that you hop on over to Amazon, grab your copy. The link is also below. And then finally, everyone, the Brave Healer community wants you to remember that your words will change the world when you are brave enough to share them. It's time to be brave, everyone. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, and thank you both so much.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you.